My name is Sarah Otto, and I'm on the pastoral team at Ignatius House. In these passages from Matthew, we see Jesus busy with healing work, healing the woman with the hemorrhage and the official's daughter. And if you read the verses in between the two passages we highlighted today, you'll have also read about additional healing stories of the blind and the mute. Jesus' days were clearly full. There's a frenetic pace of activity that comes from the Gospels in his early ministry days, when word is traveling about this healer and wonder worker, and people from all over are coming to him with their needs. But the frantic nature of things is largely due to those around him, not of Jesus himself. I love how despite all of the needs thrown upon him, Jesus still takes the time to stop and talk to the woman with the hemorrhage and take the little girl by the hand. Little gestures that quiet the flurry of activity around him and allow him to be fully present to the person before him. I don't know about you, but the easiest way the evil spirit works in my life is in a sense of urgency, making me feel like there's not enough time for those extra gestures. When I am controlled by this sense of urgency, I can sometimes see people as a waste of time, and I become a slave to productivity. A phone call that interrupts my workflow is a nuisance. My kids asking me to play with them disrupts my to-do list around the house. But Jesus reminds us that we can't be so focused on the tasks before us that we lose sight of the people along the way. Had Jesus been in such a rush to get to the official's daughter, the woman with the hemorrhage might never have been healed. But Jesus stopped, turned around, and saw her. How often do I miss truly seeing my coworkers, my kids, my husband, when I'm so focused on my agenda? Jesus' ministry days were busy. There's no doubt about it. But the busyness was not from a sense of ego, as can often lead me to pack my calendar. His clearly came from a genuine place of wanting to heal those he saw. But he didn't want or need to heal them all, or for it all to be on him. He makes it quite clear in this gospel that he needs help. The harvest is abundant. The laborers are few. He looks to his disciples and therefore to us to help him in this ministry of compassion. But to join him in this ministry, we too have to be willing to slow down, to truly see those around us, and to allow our hearts to be moved as Jesus' heart was moved. I am in awe that Jesus' heart stayed tender. It is very easy to become desensitized by the world's needs. Just think of the news we have at our fingertips. Each morning we are bombarded with texts and images of suffering around the world. How often do we glance at it and then go back to our morning coffee, unmoved in our own life? But if we truly desire to be close to Jesus, the grace we need is to be moved like Jesus. Consolation in our prayer does not mean that we feel constantly happy or at peace. We are in consolation when we are moving towards God's active presence in the world, when we are seeing the world through God's eyes. When we tap into a sense of compassion and empathy for others, I truly believe that we are getting a glimpse into the heart of God, who was so moved by those in need. Ignatian writer Margaret Silf has helpful indicators for determining whether a person is in desolation or consolation. And some of the characteristics of consolation include that our focus moves outside and beyond ourselves, that we see the joys and sorrows of other people, and that we feel a bond with our human community. None of those things are necessarily easy. Relationships are messy, and love makes us vulnerable. But those are the places Jesus goes and invites us to follow him, with the realistic reminder that we can't do everything. The harvest is abundant, and the laborers are few. But what we can do, what we're called to do, we can do with love and compassion. Jesus desires our help. How are you moved to join him?